Y'all have heard me preach intuition, follow your heart, know what's true to you. Yet I give every single one of my clients a meal roadmap, a habit roadmap, nutrition, movement suggestions, an arsenal of a toolkit to use. Doesn't that seem a little counterintuitive? Well, today I'm going to tell you all about the ins and the outs. Welcome back. I am Caroline, sharing my golden nuggets, lived experience, life experience of unbecoming all that the world told me I needed to be so that I could come back truer into myself. And like I said, I give my clients specific roadmaps to follow on this journey. Why? Because you can't expect to instantly undo all of life's conditioning that teaches you the answers and the fixes are outside of you. When you're stuck in survival mode, your brain is just seeking safety and all of your emotional needs are tied to things outside of you. You can't instantly just flip a switch. There we go. To come back into a safe relationship with you. Anything that you have an emotional relationship to outside of you, I'm just going to categorize that as an addiction. Yes, there are some more severe addictions like drugs and alcohol and sugar that get your body in a psychological dependence on it. Especially with drugs, it's life or death. But we're just very over broad category. Something outside of you that holds the power and control over your internal state of being. So let's break this down. When your body senses a danger, both perceived and we'll call it real, your body responds in the same way to perceived and real dangers. We've all heard the example of your primitive need of fight or flight, right? Back in the caveman days when we were spooked or scared, or we heard the tiger rustling in the forest, our prefrontal cortex shuts off, our amygdala starts running the show, our body pumps full of adrenaline, we shuttle all of our blood and nutrients to our muscles so that we can run away. Anything non-essential stops working, like digestion and critical thinking. And we are now in a place where we can react really quickly without thinking about it and run to safety. Super important, right? Your body responds in this exact same way to perceived stressors. So whether it's a saber-toothed tiger in the woods or you don't have enough money, no one likes you and you're not enough. Your human needs are essential. And when those essentials are threatened, you start operating in the survival place. So the need for food, shelter, safety, community, acceptance. We are social beings. So regardless of what America says, that independence is the marker of success, we actually do need a village to survive. So when you're ostracized or feel like you've been ostracized or not accepted or feel like you're not accepted, those are essential human needs. So the perceived stressors that come up, like I don't fit in, I need to be skinnier so I'm restricting food, I need more money so that I can finally relax and have financial freedom. All this I need, puts your body and brain in a place of scarcity that turns on your fight or flight response. And then you haven't been taught to A, acknowledge that you're in this fight or flight response, or B, how to calm back down out of it, which brings us into two big issues. Number one, your body being stuck in that fight or flight mode because you continue to search and fill that need outside of you, that emotional connection to things outside of you. And two, you are still searching outside of you to meet an internal need. And the world is built this way on purpose. We're diving into this in future episodes, so hold all your questions for this. I'm going to skim over it. Food companies, politics, big corporations, banks, credit card companies, loans, anyone that sells anything and has an agenda of making money off of you keeps you in this scarcity place that your brain and your body senses that your survival is being tested, and then it's outside of you in the fix. So we keep engaging in these external things that temporarily meet our need for safety. Then we get stuck there And then we keep looking outside of ourselves. Who this doesn't benefit is you. So we're going to play this tape forward a little bit. So remember problem number 1, your body being stuck in fight or flight mode. If you have not listened to my previous episode on survival mode, go back and listen to that for a deeper dive on this, but we're going to skim over it. When your body is stuck in fight or flight, I call that survival mode. Because now you are operating from your amygdala, which is, you can hear referred to as your reptilian brain, because it has a number 1 priority of survival. So now every single body system is now just seeking safety, seeking survival. So even if you're fatigued, even if your body is screaming, I need this, stop, slow down. You're not going to slow down. You're not going to stop because you're not safe. And number 2 problem is you're searching outside of yourself for that safety. And like we just talked about, it's not your fault. So as you continue to listen, don't let any shame spirals begin. We're breaking it down so that you can use this knowledge as power. Because no one's taught you how to acknowledge, first of all, that you're even in fight or flight. Again, go listen to my episode on survival mode. We talk about all of the markers and your body screaming at you that you're there. And on top of that, the world doesn't praise rest and reset. You weren't taught in elementary school how to downregulate your nervous system. We don't know how to shift our body into a restful state and know that that's safe, because we're prioritizing productivity, showing up, hours for money, which is safety. We don't know how to acknowledge what our actual needs are. So we're perceiving all of these dangers that are actually illusions, but they're unavoidable if you're stuck in this cycle. So the search outside of you to meet these needs, because that's what we've been told, that once we get the job and the house and the money and the validation and the degree and the whatever it is, that we'll finally be safe. So issue number 2 becomes a lifelong search for the perfect job that brings you fulfillment, for the perfect partner that loves and truly sees you, the magic amount of income that finally brings you financial freedom, the perfect diet and workout routine that make you feel confident and comfortable in your skin. And then you get stuck numbing the feelings that come up of not enough through food, sugar, candy, work, substances. You sleep it off, you get in depression, whatever it is. When the heart of the issue is that the world around you supports this external this external search for that security within. And the corporations that require you to show up from work, meeting someone else's standards of excellence, give you that attaboy that temporarily feel good. And then they give you that paycheck that hits your bank every other Friday and temporarily feels good and secure. But then it doesn't last. So then you need more of it. And then it's all temporary, so you keep engaging in these things outside of you that keep you at baseline. Keeping you, in problem number 1, stuck in fight or flight. And it gets even deeper in the background. Your endocrine system has been producing hormones that signal to all of your body, we need safety, be on high alert. And then your gut and your liver get so overloaded trying to detox all these overloaded hormones that your gut starts not working as well. So then your serotonin gets all screwed up because your serotonin is deeply impacted by your gut. So then you're not feeling good. And then you're tired because your body's trying to keep up with running in this high alert. And you keep pushing through because you need that external temporary validation hit to feel okay. Because not only is your body now unsafe, your brain is unsafe. And this spiral just keeps going. And something that's really easy is food, right? We reach for food, which is a tool that we can use for health and longevity, but can also be a temporary coping mechanism. We reach for these hyper palatable foods that feel really good in our mouth, that give our body a lot of calories, that temporarily bring us safety because our body's now being fed. Our brain now has the pleasure, and then it fades. So then we have to open Instagram, and that new DM or that like feels really good, but then it fades. So then you turn to your partner and you try to seek validation and, do you love me? Am I safe? Am I secure? And they say yes, but then they don't act like it because you're trying to use them as a way to meet your need, and then it fades. So then you go to the gym and you push yourself really hard because when you're suffering, you feel confident because you're doing something that is beneficial. And then you get home at night and you have to reach for your vape or the alcohol or the substances or the sleeping medications just to fall asleep and avoid it all because you've been in this cycle all day. And at the end of it, what need are you even trying to meet? Do you even know? All these temporary I'm safe mechanisms keep you numb. So let's first identify the need. But wait, we've been searching outside of ourselves for so long. How are you expected to identify the needs? Well, let's uncover a few things that you can try that I've used and I use with all of my clients to attack the cycle at the root that will benefit you. Because you have to get it at the root or it's just another temporary fix. So first, we need to get your body out of survival mode. We need to acknowledge your body's health. Let's get you eating at least maintenance calories so your body can signal safety through this food tool. Because eating too little and eating too much signals to your body that something's off and we're not safe, that keep you operating from that fight or flight mode. Let's acknowledge where your nervous system, hormones, vitamins, minerals are. Let's look at your water. Let's do some blood work. Let's look at caffeine use. Are you getting sunlight exposure? How do you move your body? What's your body fat percentage? All of these things matter. Because anything that's off signals I'm not safe. We need to be safe. Shut down non-essentials. Overload the body with cortisol and adrenaline and things that keep us going. So once we start mending our body's true health, then we can work in our mind. What's going on in your head? What perceived stressors are signaling this safety mechanism? Remember, perceived stressors, so things that we perceive as danger and real life danger like T-Rexes, affect our body the exact same way. Are you constantly worried about not having enough money? Are you constantly worried about not being accepted? Are you constantly hyper-focused on what people will think? Are you pouring everything into a job that is based off of somebody else's successes, somebody else's this is acceptable, this is not? Uncovering all of this can honestly take years depending on how willing you are to be honest with yourself. Because this phase of uncovering the perceived stressors, the perceived scarcities, the perceived fears takes stillness, takes deep honesty with yourself, and takes deep internal questioning. And this uncovering and being truly honest with yourself of the systems that you're playing into, the programming that you're playing into that is keeping you stuck and in survival mode, can only truly happen in a beneficial way when you feel safe enough to uncover those painful truths. Which means we also need to be addressing how you're handling your day-to-day. What are you doing to signal safety to your body and brain every single day? Do you even find stillness? Maybe meditating. How do you self-soothe? And this part is honestly, I said the previous part takes years, but this one is the most, I would say, gradual and uncomfortable because it takes patience. We've been so used to these quick fixes of dopamine, of safety, that when we start engaging in this gradual build of safety, like telling yourself every day, I am safe, I can sit still, handle my emotions, and survive. The daily rituals of silence, where you're uncovering and creating new evidence of, I can feel this and be safe. I can uncover painful truths and be safe. I can look inside and be safe. Because your brain needs this new evidence that we can be safe, doing different, until it will start signaling that safety. And this is where most people fall off the wagon because it takes dedication. It takes lots of repetition to uncover, to signal safety, to be patient and trust the process. And those quick fixes we talked about, like the social media, the food, the sugar, the alcohol, the sleep, that is within hand's reach at any moment in time. And if you are willing to do the work and move through this process, we acknowledge and then we mend. So then we start doing something about it. We start taking accountability for what you've uncovered. Challenge those perceived stressors. Rewire your subconscious mind that holds all of that programming. Start mending your health, taking control of where your hormones are, changing the way that you behave every day, adjusting your habits to your highest benefit. Regulate your nervous system. Take deep breaths. Start using food as a tool to fuel your body. And start to connect with that inner guidance. And this is why most people need a trusted guide and a roadmap. Because our world is not set up for your success. Our world is set up to keep you in the survival mode, stuck in issue number 1, that fight or flight, scarcity, I need. So that number 2 of searching outside of yourself continues to benefit the things and the people that make money off of it. We're talking about more of that in the future. Do not worry. And once we start to mend the areas that need more love, then we can start integrating this stillness and awareness into your day-to-day. You start questioning everything, every thought you have, every belief you have, every habit you engage in, how you talk to yourself, how you perceived others. Once you start integrating this into your day-to-day, you start uncovering what's yours and what is not yours and that you want to move away. So yes, we can acknowledge and uncover, and then the diligent practice of rewiring the way you think, move, and behave throughout the world will continue to uncover those perceived stressors, will continue to give you evidence that you can do it and still be safe and secure. So then you can finally embody, which is the least sexy of all these things, which is what nobody sees, because it's the mundane, repetitive, day-to-day that cultivates your success. Slow and steady wins the race. Every single day, implementing what you've uncovered, challenging what you've uncovered, catching yourself falling into old patterns, catching yourself engaging in these quick fixes, catching your nervous system get deregulated, catching yourself reaching for food, substances, or nicotine to soothe an internal warning bell. When we embody, we start acting like we're safe, even if our body and our brain are catching up to it. Trusting in Gus. You know what Gus is? God, universe, spirit, whatever you believe in. Something outside of you that has a plan and that everything is on purpose. Once you give up that belief that you can control it all, and you release the scarcity, the fear, then this is where the freaking magic happens. Because no matter what comes your way, you have trained your mind and your body to know that it is safe because you have faith in the purpose of it. And you start to experience that divine guidance, that true trust of your inner wisdom when you release control and surrender to the process. And the craziest thing is when you start to embody this safety, when you start to catch yourself going into these past programs and patterns and then shifting in the moment, you actually get back more control that you had in the beginning. When you release and let go and start embodying, all I can say is it's freaking magic. Because believe it or not, you always get everything that you've asked for. But it often looks very different than what you thought it was. The path looks very different. And the more evidence you give your brain that it's safe, the faster things start happening. Because like I said, whatever you ask for, you get. If we go back to those perceived stressors, when you're stressed about money, worried that you're never going to have enough, well, you're never going to have enough money. When you need that external validation from your partner, well, you're going to keep needing that external validation for your partner. You're not going to be engaging in secure relationships. You're going to be attracting partners that say the right thing, but then don't act that way because you're not acting that way. You still need to find the one achievement or the one certain income or job status to feel worthy, well, you're going to keep that search up, right? Continuing to feed the mechanism in you that needs more keeps you further from yourself, keeps you in that fight or flight, and keeps you in the search. Because you truly are creating your reality. And as most people walk around stuck in that survival mode, stuck in the systems that fuel that survival mode, they are creating their lives, but from an unconscious place, in an unsafe body that continues to drive them deeper away from themselves. And if you've made it to this podcast and engage in my content, you know, even if it's not consciously, you know somewhere deep down that a different life is possible. Because once we become conscious of these patterns, we've acknowledged what's going on in our body, we've mended the places that need a little more support, then we do the mundane day-to-day of integrate, embody, catch yourself, mend, acknowledge. Those are the 4 phases of my program, Mind Body Mastery. Takes you through the acknowledge, the mend, the integrate, so that you can embody. And I'm not here to pretend that I have the perfect roadmap that you're never going to need anything ever again. But I am here to give you the arsenal of tools that I have that have helped me acknowledge, that have helped me mend, that have taken my clients to countless wonderful places once they integrate and embody. And then you get to take those skills with you for the rest of your life. I'm going to offer you everything I've learned through my own trial and error, everything that's worked for a client. Because what works for me may not work for you, and that's wonderful. I'm not a coach that's going to come on here and pretend that I know the exact right way, because I'm still figuring out my life, and that's the journey of this human experience, is figuring it out. But we can only do that in hindsight. So what we do in this now moment is claim your power to tap into your potential. And we do that through mending your health, befriend your body, create a safe space within, calm your nervous system down, regulate your hormones so you have awareness and energy to go after the things that you want. You integrate this into your day-to-day so you can catch yourself slipping into those unconscious programs. Because you do not deserve to live a life stuck living unconsciously in survival mode. You can thrive, tapping into your innate worth and power to claim all that is truly yours. So that is why I give my clients powerful roadmaps and then preach intuition. Because we've been so numb to our internal guidance, to your truth, to your genuine values, goals, and purpose. And we are surrounded by systems that benefit off of keeping you in survival mode, stuck in that fight or flight, and searching outside of you for the cure. And yes, things outside of you can be used as a tool, but let's use them consciously. Let's use them intentionally. Not stuck in this up and down pattern of these instant gratifications that then leave us, then we're searching for the next thing because you've done that, right? You're exhausted, you're tired, you're burnt out. And that is not the way it has to go. Which is why I offer the multi-dimensional approach that I do. In the show notes, there's a coaching inquiry for you to fill out and schedule a free discovery call with me. Because you deserve to know what your goals are, right? So let's uncover them. Let's start cultivating a roadmap. And if Mind Body Breakthrough, my awesome program, is aligned for you, let's get you signed up and ready to go all in. Take what resonates, leave the rest, but know that your soul, your inner guidance understands everything that I'm talking about. Go listen to my survival mode episode for a little more context. Come back where we dive even deeper into the systems of our world that are keeping you stuck, searching outside of yourself. And acknowledge where you are, team. Acknowledge that where you are is not solely your fault, but it is your responsibility to do something about it if you truly want to start thriving. But hey, we all have free will, so do with this what you want. But take me as evidence that it keeps getting better when you choose you. Big love.